Hi everybody, Will here for Will of the Force with my second vlog. This is actually my second attempt doing it. I've been having weird issues where things aren't recording properly. There's been a sync with the video and the audio not lining up correctly, and hopefully I've resolved that. It might have been a weird issue where a media player was open, which I don't even generally use that, but I might have opened it on accident at some point and just never closed it. In fact, I had a video where I recorded Pray for Spoonie Mass on Saturday, which had the same issue, and might be the reason why, because I don't generally turn off my computer that much, and there was a power outage on Friday, I believe. And at some point after that might have been when I accidentally opened up the media player and just forgot about it. But yeah, the Prey thing was weird. I might actually show a clip of that to get an idea, especially since it wasn't off the same way the whole time, much like my first attempt at the vlog. The audio was interestingly off for decreasing amounts. I don't know how far off it was at the beginning, but about like 10 minutes or so in from the recording standpoint, not the episode standpoint, I did an adjustment. It was nearly 2 seconds off, and by the end of the video it was about half a second off, which was interesting. Very obvious when shooting the guns, slightly less obvious with other stuff, because the sounds were a bit muted and other stuff. But other than recording Prey, what I have done this week, on Saturday, the wife decided that she wants you to forego the world of manual labor in cleaning houses, at least somewhat, and we got a Roomba. I thought I was saying the wrong word for a second. A Roomba 890, which is a Wi-Fi enabled one, which I named Catbane. And I named it Catbane because it is the bane of cats. It's a vacuum. I named it that before we did anything. And you can name it because it's Wi-Fi enabled, which allows you to download an app to your Android or iPhone, and you can control it from there, from a nifty little app, which I think is called iRobot Home. I could be wrong about the name of the app, but you can do all sorts of stuff. You can set it to clean, you can create schedules there, you can view the cleaning history, do other various settings, you can check out information. It even tells you the birthday of it, which is hilarious. I had read a message because it gives the messages too, which is nice. It gives pop-ups when it's finished, if you've canceled it, when the bin is full, and it'll give messages with the name of the Roomba as well, because I guess which is useful if you have a house with multiple Roombas. And I had read it one time, and the wife started laughing, and I didn't know why. And it wasn't until the following day when she pointed out, or she allowed me to realize, I realized because I was talking about a prop that I had, a toy prop that I have of my favorite Clone Wars character, that I may have accidentally subtly referenced Star Wars with the naming of the Roomba by calling it Catbane, because there is a Star Wars Clone Wars character called Catbane. So one letter off, hilariousness. I might have subconsciously been making Star Wars references whilst not intending to. And we picked that up on Saturday, and gave it a few runs around the house, which I might have it do a run right after I finish this. Otherwise, later on in the day, we were sitting around. I did not feel like sitting around doing nothing because I was working this weekend. I didn't feel like sitting around at home doing nothing for the evening, after we had done all sorts of other stuff. And we decided to do mini golf. It's been some time since we did mini golf, And we just elected to go to a course in the evening that had an option of doing the standard 18 mini golf course or 36, basically just going twice. They do have two courses, which is nice. And you can choose to do one course then the other in either order, or you could potentially do one twice. They were called Tiger and Bear, I believe. They had a par 54. I intended to have a picture of the scorecard to show up, but I neglected to do that. The website for the mini golf course claims that they have 2 waterfalls, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong on that, but it felt more like 3 because there was one that was like a mountain on one of the courses. I think Tiger. I don't remember which course we did first, but it had a mountain, and it was like one side actually had a waterfall, and then the other side had a waterfall, and you kind of saw it. There was a point where you kind of like this, but you went around it sort of from a small distance when you're doing the course. And there was another mountain that had a waterfall that had a hole behind the waterfall, so you could see through the hole, or from both sides, because one of the there was a tunnel that went behind the waterfall that was part of one of the holes, one of the mini golf holes, that you could then walk through this tunnel, and as you're walking through the tunnel you could look through the waterfall at all the other players that were taking their time to play, which is the downside of mini golf, of course, that you will always end up hitting a traffic jam of people ahead of you. Sometimes it could just be one slow group, and then other groups might start taking time, and it's just it's a thing. It's one of the pains of it, which is probably why I would have preferred to have a larger group, but it was just the wife and I. Everyone else was busy, but that is okay. It was still fun. It was exciting. It was a nice little golf course. Well, I say little. It was decently sized because of the 36 holes. So it was definitely a long, enjoyable evening out. Very nice weather. It was cool out. Well, I say cool. It was cool for the summer out. It was not cold, and it was not super hot, which was nice, and it wasn't raining or anything like that. So it was a decent night to go out for mini golfing. Sunday provided more work for me, for work, which mostly just callbacks and stuff like that. It's not as intense as my normal work week, if one would want to call it intense, which it is decidedly not. But we did have a friend come over. I have a friend from one of the cosplaying groups, the Saber Guild. He is a member of both the Empire Saber Guild and Saber Guild Corellia, which is the New York, at least New York City, and the New Jersey area Saber Guilds. And for those who don't know, Saber Guild is a group that does lightsaber choreography shows and kind of kid interactive lessons and fun stuff. And they're very fun and exciting stuff. Makes me wish I had some footage here to show, but I don't. But you'll probably can find it on YouTube, especially their shows at Celebration. If they have it for this past Celebration in Orlando, definitely worth a watch, because it was, especially Saber Guild Corellia's show, was very, very good this year. But he has primarily had a Jedi character, which apparently is sort of famous, at least amongst people who come to the conventions and everything. People recognize him even outside of the kit, which, since he has his face revealed for the character, works. His new character he is trying to bring out is a Sith, and as he did it, he's doing it to give it a break because he doesn't want to have to flip and everything. So this guy's supposed to be more, I guess, robotic, Frankenstein-y, I think he was saying, a bit more kind of like original Vader, like original series Vader fighting, than the more prequel flippy fighting that he does, because he's very, very crazy with that, with his Jedi character, and people expect that from him for that. But his new Sith character has armor, and he's primarily used to working with cloth, so he came over with some armor he'd purchased that didn't exactly fit right. So we adjusted that. I started making some shoulder pieces to replace the ones that he had. That should be better, fit him better, and will hopefully look better, even though they'll be hidden under his cape that he has. And I'm gonna work on doing additional armor stuff that maybe I'll show in a later vlog as I work on it, because I've got a couple weeks until he needs it to be done. So we will see what happens with that. But basically, it was working with material called Sintra for the most part, which is I believe, expanded foam PVC. It's basically just this flat sheet of PVC, which is very easy to work with, very easy to cut, very easy to form with heat, which I do have some video of me working with heat of the already created stuff. So basically it's just heating it, making sure it fits him better by making it curve in the proper paces, make it feel not as flat against him, because he purchased it from someone else and they did not have it sized to him. And he also had a couple of additional parts of armor that he wants that I will look into getting set up for him properly, and we'll see how that all works. But that was pretty much what happened for the week. I know I only pretty much focused on Saturday and Sunday. There wasn't really much on the rest of the week. It was just kind of work, and as far as I can recall, nothing really major happened during then. I put together a really simple table from IKEA. I think it's called the Lack table. Nothing special, but I'll get into why I did that later. Show a picture of it. It's a very simple build. I was debating recording that, and then I was like, it's building a table. I mean, an IKEA table. You guys don't need to see that. But if you have any questions, comments, let me know. Feel free to comment. Feel free to let me know in any other media that you may have me on, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and I will get back to you. I will be happy to answer questions in the vlog. Should I continue? Hopefully this recording will work better than the last one, where everything was just massively off. And I'll see you in the next one. Until then, this is Will of the Force.